Yesterday I did a video where I talked about the fact that this Saturday on Discovery Family, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic will debut the episode The Last Crusade. Now this episode has already been seen early in other countries like Italy thanks to some kind of agreement that Hasbro has with these countries to release the episodes weeks, maybe months earlier than the US. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because, like I said in yesterday's video, the episode will feature the official visual animated debut of the first official LGBTQ couple in Scootaloo's aunts, Aunt Holiday and Aunt Lofty. These two characters got introduced in Volume 3 of the Ponyville Mysteries, which is I think it's still ongoing book series that you can find on Amazon. Now, the reason I brought this up is due to the fact that, as noted by a lot of people, this is sort of a big deal. And already a lot of media outlets, like I mentioned yesterday in the video, major, not so major, are talking about this happening. And it's ironic that it's happening during Pride Month. Now, here's the thing, here's the question though, that a lot of people seem to ask when it comes to this kind of situation, this kind of a topic. Should LGBTQ / same-sex couples be depicted in animated programming, mostly animated family-friendly programming? And that is and honestly that answer is up for debate. I mean, as you could tell, I'm doing this on the fly, unscripted, just saying what I can, or what comes to mind. But anyway, that's kind of up for debate, because depending on who you are, where you live, and all that, it's a matter of choice. Now, like I said yesterday, I'm a born-again Christian, and I was raised on the fact that, with all due respect, that I should not support the LGBTQ / pride community. That being a born-again Christian, we look at that as not being what God intended. And that's how I was raised, and out of respect for how I was raised and for what I was born to believe, I do stick by that. But I am a believer that if you want to go a certain route, if you want to support something, that's your choice. You have the right to do that. And when it comes to LGBTQ being represented in family-friendly programming, especially animated family-friendly programming, is again up for debate. Here's the thing. This is really nothing new in the past, decade? It's really nothing new. I mean, ironically, we have the sequel of Frozen coming out in November. Now, the reason I bring that up is because when Frozen first debuted, the way they positioned Elsa was Elsa could end up being an LGBTQ character. In fact, a lot of people have petitioned that Elsa become Disney's first LGBTQ princess or / queen, if you catch my drift. They've been petitioning that. Heck, a lot of people are hoping that this new movie, the sequel, Frozen 2, will introduce maybe an LGBTQ love interest for Elsa. But again, like I said, this goes a lot, but this has been going on for quite some time. I mean, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has been going on a lot longer than, let's say, Steven Universe and Adventure Time. It has not, I will say this, it has not gone as long as Author, the PBS animated series. It has not gone on as long as Author has. Author has been going on for about 20 plus years now, since I think 1997. And it has tackled a lot of subjects itself. Author is actually a PBS animated series targeted towards a more older, semi-older demographic of children. And like I said, it's basically addressed a lot of controversial situations. It has discussed a lot of different topics. In fact, Arthur has come under fire for what it just did. Now, in case you guys don't know, the series premiere, the 22nd series, the season 22, the 22nd season premiere, I should say, had an episode or an animated short where Arthur's teacher gets married, and he gets married to his significant other. Now, his significant other is not a female, it's a male. And his teacher's significant other is named Patrick. And Arthur's teacher, of course, is known as Mr. Ratburn. Now, this has come under fire due to the fact that this is a PBS series, a PBS exclusive series, that for some odd reason decided now was the best time to go this route. But it's not the first time. 14 years ago, they tried the same thing by introducing a character that had two moms. And what happened? Well, apparently, several states, well, one state in particular, Alabama, decided to ban not just that episode from 2005, but also banned this episode that was the season 2, the 22nd season premiere. The reason being is they didn't want to break the trust they have with parents. Basically, parents trusting them to allow their kids to sit in front of the television and watch the programming without supervision. Now, again, whether you agree with Alabama's and the PBS station's decision to pull the episode and basically show a rerun of an older episode in its place, that's up for debate. That's up to you. The thing is, nowadays, whether we want to admit it or not, we are in a time, whether we want to acknowledge it or we don't. Like I said, we are in a time to where this is prominent. This kind of stuff is prominent. I mean, there's even reports going out that Christians themselves, Christians and other religious people out there, Baptists, Catholics, Methodists, you name it, there are religious people out there, prayer warriors as they would call themselves at times, that do support LGBTQ. They support it. They support the Pride month and Pride people and all that. Because they go off the acknowledgement that basically Jesus told us to love one another no matter what. And they look at it and they take that and they say, well, even though these people are LGBTQ, we need to love on them. We don't need to discard them. We don't need to disrespect them. We got to love on them. We may not agree with their choice, but so be it. I mean, you know, there's not really much you can do. If they want to go that route, they're going to go that route. You know, whether you agree with it or you don't. We're in that time right now to where, unless the next president of the United States comes out and declares, along with Congress and all that, that LGBTQ is banned, and that all the marriages that took place across the decades are null and void, and now these people have to find true significant others to be with. Unless that happens, this stuff's still going to be around no matter, let's say, who's running the country. But getting back on point, should it be represented in children's cartoons, or mostly family-friendly animated cartoons, like My Little Pony, Arthur, Steven Universe, Adventure Time, Clarence, and all those. Even some Disney shows are doing it. You know, should it be represented? And again, that's up for debate. You know, we're not in charge of these companies. You know, one thing a lot of people, you know, when it comes to what I'm trying to say is when it comes to the Arthur situation, a lot of people a majority of people, whether they support LGBTQ or they don't, do not agree with Alabama's decision to pull the episode. Because even if they don't support LGBTQ/Pride, they do acknowledge that we are in a world where eventually kids are going to notice this. Kids are going to see this no matter what. So trying to hide it and act like it doesn't exist is not going to help. I mean, I'll give you an example. One of the interpretations of Star Trek, I think it was Voyager, I believe. They did an episode called Threshold. And in this episode, one of the main characters got mutated and was slowly turning into a lizard person. Because they went at a speed that caused this mutation to happen. And I guess it had some kind of side effect. I don't know. And in the end, they ended up, after furthering mutating and all that, they ended up going again at warp 10 or whatever it was to a swamp-like planet, and they took the captain of the Voyager, I think that's what the name, Captain Jane, I think that's what her name was. And by doing so, she too got mutated into basically a lizard-like mutant or reptile. And they ended up having babies that they left behind on the swamp planet after they were neutralized, brought back to the ship, and restored. And because of that, a lot of people, fans, and even the crew itself, cast members, behind the scenes members, have all disavowed this episode. Even though they keep the episode in rotation, they pretty much feel that they pretty much look at the episode as non-canon, like it's just something that maybe happened in an alternate universe, has nothing to do with the Prime storyline. And the reason I bring that up is because that's how people view Alabama banning the episode, the 22nd episode of Arthur, for his portrayal of a LGBTQ wedding. You know, it's like, nope, we're not going to show it. We're going to act like it doesn't exist. We'll show all the other new episodes for season 22, but we won't show that because it doesn't exist. Here's the thing, though. Whoever's making that call doesn't realize people could watch it, kids could watch it on the PBS website, as well as watch it on YouTube and Dailymotion, Amazon, Netflix, you name it. They could still get a view. They could still watch it. They could still see it. So they look at it like, why are you hiding it? Why are you hiding this? It doesn't make sense. Now, some people have come out and defended the fact that, you know, this episode is about learning, and that eventually this is a learning experience that Alabama is denying kids of, you know, watching and learning from. But again, it's basically what's the term? Valor is basically it's some kind of, basically their decision, I guess, in their minds is the better value of discretion or something like that. But the point is, getting back on topic, is should it have been done? Should they have even come up with the episode? I think his name is Mark Brown or something, the show creator. Should he have even decided, hey, let's go that route? Should he have decided, you know what, that's a good idea, but let's not do that. We don't want to get anybody angry. We'll just do it. We'll just do this. You know, should it have been made? Should the decision been made? And that's a very valued question. Honestly, I don't think anybody can really answer. Should it have been made in the first place to do an LGBTQ episode, especially as part of the season 22 premiere? I mean, I even had somebody comment on the video I did yesterday about it, and they said that they don't want the little sister to have to watch something like this because something like this doesn't belong in kid/family friendly programming, like, let's say, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. In other words, there are those that believe if you're going to do LGBTQ representation in programming, do it in primetime adult-oriented programming, that even if you have kids watching it with you, they could sit, when watching it with you, you'll be there to watch it with them and maybe explain to them why these two characters, these two men or these two women, are together. You know, that's how they look at it. Like, if you're going to do a representation of LGBTQ, do it in a more primetime, family, if not slash adult-oriented viewership, a viewing block, and don't do it during the daytime when kids can see. Especially, with animated programming that kids are known to watch. But again, it's all up, in my opinion, it's not up to us. It's not up to us, the fans. It's not up to us, the people. It's up to the people running things. And if Mark Brown and those behind the author series felt, hey, let's do this, let's put some LGBTQ into the series because it'll help educate the semi-older kids on what this is, then that's their decision. If they felt it was part of a learning experience that kids would benefit from, so be it. If the people at Discovery Family, but mostly Allspark Animation and Hasbro Studios, feels, hey, now is the proper time. Yes, it is Pride Month, but now is the proper time to introduce an official LGBTQ couple into the animated series, and that's their decision. So be it. I mean, they pretty much already did so with these two same characters in the Ponyville Mysteries book series. So they're just saying, you know what, we did it there, we're going to do it here. And like I said in that video I did yesterday, and like I said earlier, a lot of fans look at My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and they basically look at the two characters of Lyra and Bon Bon on both the Friendship is Magic and Equestria Girls side of things, and they say, yeah, you can, and basically they can interpretate the fact and see visually for themselves that, yeah, these two are not just best friends. They're not BFFs, best friends forever. No. These two are more than that. You could tell by their interactions and everything. And the same could be said, for the Equestria Girls roller coaster of friendship, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, one of the people behind that special basically said that intentionally and somewhat unintentionally, they made the scenario between Rarity and Applejack seem more like a lover's quarrel instead of an argument between two best friends. And just the way that visually they made up and everything, it's like, you're not fooling anybody. You're basically saying, yeah, these two are basically LGBTQ. So again, should LGBTQ be allowed in animated family-friendly programming? Again, to me, it's a matter of choice. I mean, I may not support LGBTQ, honestly, but I look at the fact that even though I was born and raised not to support it because I'm a born-again Christian, I do respect that if you want to go that route, if you want to support it, that's your choice. It doesn't bother me. I respect your choice. I respect your decision. And that's all I can say. Would I support it? No. But the thing is, if you want to go that route, fine. That's up to you. And if you want that, and if that's your choice, I respect it. The point is, there's just a lot of people out there that believe that LGBTQ should not be associated with animated children/family-friendly programming, especially during the day. That it should be left for something like prime time, late at night, and that's it. But here's the thing. Try telling that to the people at Cartoon Network that worked on Steven Universe, that worked on Adventure Time, that worked on Clarence. Try telling that to some of the people at Disney that worked on Gravity Falls. I'm just saying. Point is, no matter how you look at it, it's not our choice. It's not up to us whether or not LGBTQ gets represented in animated family-friendly / children's programming, all ages programming. It's not up to us. It's up to the people behind the scenes that work on that series. And if Discovery Family didn't want this episode to happen, Last Crusade, didn't want this to happen because it has the inclusion of LGBTQ characters, then they could have easily pulled the plug a long time ago on that episode and said, nope, rewrite the episode or come up with something different. But they didn't. The same with the majority of the PBS stations and networks out there. Could they have followed suit like Alabama and said, nope, we're not going to air this once they heard about what it was going to be? Yeah, they could have, but they didn't. A majority of them have kept it in rotation. So, again, it's just a matter of choice. And it's not up to us, like I said, it's up to the people that work on the series. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think LGBTQ, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think LGBTQ should be represented in animated, family-friendly / children's all ages programming? Should it be represented in animated, family-friendly / children's / all ages programming? Do you think it should be, or do you think it should be left alone, or just utilized in primetime late-night programming? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Talk to y'all later.